Bitcoin ordinals are the play in 2024 and leading into this current bull run, and the numbers don't lie. It's looking like the ETH NFTs are just dying and Solana is just chugging along. Now these stats really tell a story, but when you actually get down to the heart and the root of it all, it kind of all starts to make sense. Now down below there are chapters so you can fast forward to the sections that you want to help you navigate the video easier. Also, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before moving in on the crypto and NFT space. Now, when we have a quick look at just ETH NFTs over the last 90 days. Now, Pudgy Penguins, this is the strongest one of the ETH NFTs. This thing has been running and it done quite well, but then you have this drop off that we've had over the past week or so. Now, when we get to Bored Ape Yacht Club, it hasn't had a run up. It has just basically had a steady trend down from around that 30 ETH. Now it's just sitting just shy of that 20, so just above 20 ETH. Now, when we have a look at Azuki, which is another strong contender, you can see that they have done all right over the last 90 days, not similar to Pudgy Penguins, but just kind of sitting relatively flat from where they entered it, but same kind of deal. It is just in a trend down. Now, when we head over to Solana, Mad Lads, the big gun in the system, it's a slight trend down / flat, so it hasn't moved much, and saying that the Solana price has chopped and kind of pumped up a little bit. When you have a look at Klanos, that has been down. They did have this little pump up here, but when you have a look at what's happened overall, it is just a trend down. Now, Bodoggos, these guys, I absolutely love their content, but with them, they have just been a trend down. Now, these are slight trends down, not the trends down that we have seen on Ethereum. Now, the reason this is a Bitcoin ordinal shill is when you have a look at these charts over that same period, it's crazy. Node Monkeys, this thing ran up to around that 0.25, then pulled back, sit flat, and then when volume came in, it just looks parabolic, just looks straight crazy. That does not look like an NFT chart. That looks like a crypto coin chart. When you have a look at Bitcoin puppets, and full disclosure and disclaimers, I actually own a Bitcoin puppet, so yes, I'm pumping my own bag. When you have a look at this thing has just been trending up. Sure, it's had like this little pullback, but it's just been trending up. And I personally got in at 0.07, so I'm up around 0.25 Bitcoin at the moment. And then when you have a look at Ordinal Maxibeers, now they just crossed the 1 Bitcoin mark, so these are like the big guys, the big guns in the Ordinal ecosystem. You can see here, same kind of deal at around that 0.4, it's kind of chopped up and it's just been trending up. Now, when you have a look at these charts, and what they're doing is what the Ethereum bull run happened in 2021 into 2022. What I want to show you here is right here, this is Bored Ape Yacht Club, ran up, consolidate, ran up, consolidate, ran up. This thing just had straight up only mode. And when you have a look and compare that, looks very similar to that, looks very similar to that, looks very similar to that. What we're seeing right now is an opportunity where people that have played in the NFT space in Ethereum, that have dabbled in Solana, are moving over to Bitcoin ordinals. They're seeing it just being fun. There is a lack of high quality projects that people can move into, which then means that things consolidate. The reason that Bored Ape Yacht Club ran up is because there was nothing really else for people to move into. There was a handful of projects, 5 or 10 projects that people with liquidity could then move into. When that liquidity then moved into it, price goes up when volume goes up, and you can see that right here. Big spike of volume, big spike of volume, spike of volume, spike of volume. When you have these volume spikes, the price runs up. And what you then have is a series of people coming in. When volume comes in, holders don't want to sell and price runs up. Now, I think this comes from a couple of different points. One of those points is the fact that people that are in on ordinals projects, really good ordinals projects, me, myself, and people I've spoken to, they do not want to sell their ordinals before the Bitcoin halving, before an all-time high, which we kind of just crossed over. They know that we are early in that cycle, and they have very high expectations of where prices can go. They assume that Node Monkeys can hit a 1 Bitcoin, well, they almost hit a Bitcoin floor, but hit a 1 or 2 Bitcoin floor. People know that Puppets can hit about a half a Bitcoin floor. People know that Maxibeers is going to hit a 2 or 3 Bitcoin floor easy. So they're holding on to this with this very high conviction. Dries up supply, things go up because the Bitcoin narrative is running, and this is where it comes down. But there is another thing. This is by Udi, the founder of Taproot Wizards and Quantum Cats. What this goes on to say, and this is just an absolute great thread, he goes on to say that the people that have thousands of dollars worth of Bitcoin lying around, these are people that invested in Bitcoin when it was early, they mined it when it was early, they have millions and millions of dollars, but they don't want to kind of off-ramp them. There is no KYC. These are in wallets. These are people that got into Bitcoin when they were trading on Silk Road in the naughty stuff, dabbling in that. They have lots of money, they have lots of liquidity, but they don't want to be tied to those accounts. They don't want to do that. They head to a Bitcoin ATM, they withdraw some money. Like he says here, how would they ever spend thousands of Bitcoin in the real world? Even if they could do so without going to jail, you can only buy so much pot. So their Bitcoin balances just sit there staring at them. In the early days, they would go to an altcoin exchange, deposit some BTC, trade some ETH coins, and try to feel something. But they can't even do that anymore because since they're forced to KYC on everything. The ancient whales are not doing that. So what the F do you think they're going to do as they realize they can finally act like the complete and utter degenerates that they are on their own chain? Finally, they can stop LARPing about hard money and finite supply and go back to why they are here, to embrace their inner addict and return to the glory that once was. And the only thing that they can do is buying and selling JPEGs. Now, this is a very, very hot take and a very good take that I like from Udi. It's the fact that there is this dormant liquidity that hasn't been able to be a degenerate the way that we saw in the ETH NFT run. ETH NFT whales that had ETH from when they could get it nice and early were able to ape into stuff and go absolutely crazy. Now we have that chance with people in Bitcoin Ordinals. So I implore you to look into Bitcoin Ordinals, not financial advice, because this does feel different. It seems different. It has different liquidity. It has a different message. It has a different narrative than what ETH and Solana have had. This is the first run. This is the first cycle. It is something that's very interesting, very new for people that are getting into the space. I myself spent 0.07 Bitcoin. I have then within a month made 0.2 Bitcoin. Yes, the price can go down. Yes, if you're screenshotting and talking about profits before you've taken them, that's a top signal. But there's been top signal after top signal. There are so many people that hold with conviction, me myself, that think that when we hit the halvening, when we hit crazy all-time highs below tops, that's when money and liquidity will flow into top high quality projects, and then you'll do that. You also have these crazy new mints that will come out, that will pop off, that'll just be amazing. And slowly more and more people are coming over to Ordinals. They want to get in and they're experiencing and they're dabbling, and we're going to see that 2021, 2022 ETH hype all over again. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, go down there, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all that good stuff. I had a pleasure making this video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.